Hi everybody and welcome back to another Legends of Runeterra video, and it looks like Taric just came out. They revealed Taric, so not much of a surprise there. Everyone had pretty much assumed that this was who it was going to be. Funnily enough, Bastion isn't his signature spell, so we'll kind of get into that in a little bit. Taric, general impressions before I start this, he is really similar to Shin. Out of all the possible releases from Targon, I think Taric is kind of my least anticipated, and the one I'm kind of least interested in right now, just as a thematic viewpoint. Taric just has never really seemed an interesting champion to me, and the other ones from Targon are a little bit more interesting. However, his ability is pretty unique and pretty cool. So, with Taric, we have a new keyword. It is gem. And so we'll be talking a little bit more about these gems, and yeah, so let's get into Taric. So Taric, support. You give me and my supported ally Tough this round, copy the last spell you cast on only me this round onto that ally. So important to note that his ability only works during the attack phase, just like Shin. You only get value out of this when you are attacking. So the implications of this ability are pretty cool, actually. So you cast a spell on Taric, and then when you go into the attack phase and you are supporting an ally, it grants that ally the same stats and keywords and everything else that that spell did. And then along with that, you get Tough. So really cool. That allows us to pair Taric with a ton of different regions and get value out of it. So for example, there are a lot of different battle tricks that you can do in different regions that could work really well with Taric. So we've got like Overwhelm from Noxus, we've got Buffing Up Units from Freljord, and we have Elusive from Ionia and from Piltover and Zon. Just really cool ways to get to pair different regions with Taric, it seems like, and I think he'll be able to work with a lot of different card pools. That is super awesome. That is a kind of card that I like, and that is the type of I guess deck building that I really enjoy. So I'm pretty excited about that. And then in order to level up Taric, I've seen you target or support ally 7+ times. So pretty similar to Arbiter of the Peak, where his ability, you reduce its mana cost by targeting and supporting allies. Taric kind of levels up the same way, so you can see kind of synergy between those two cards. And then when Taric is leveled up, my supported ally and I can't take damage or die this round. Copy the last spell you cast on only me this round onto that ally. So he retains that same kind of spell sharing, but it gets rid of Tough, and they're basically immortal, so they can't die. So that seems really strong. Now that doesn't mean they. I don't think that means that they can't be removed from battle with like Will of Ionia. However, they do have Bastion, so you do need to worry about that. You can probably still stun them, so they are subject, to kind of crowd control and those type of spells. And of course, you can still block into them. So I don't think this is as overpowered as a lot of people are thinking, but it still has a lot of potential to be game changing. So there are ways to, I guess, build decks around this and counter it, but at the same time, it's going to be pretty strong. Alright, so now his kind of follower cards here. So I'm not sure if like the previous release support cards were Taric's followers, but these ones definitely seem to be. So Gift Giver, when I'm summoned, create a gem in hand. So a gem is, we'll look over here at the gem. Gem is heal an ally 1 and grant it +1/+0. It's a burst speed spell, but it can't be cast in combat or response to a spell. So it's like a semi-burst speed is what I'm getting out of this. So you have to do it kind of on your, you can use it burst speed, you just can't be reacting to anything, or attacking, or defending, I guess. So you can play it whenever you want and get burst speed out of it, except in reaction to another spell. So it kind of limits you to playing this like at the first of the round before any spells are resolved. So you can't use this burst speed 1-cost spell to like save your units. I think that's a really smart of them, because it is granting you permanent attack damage and also healing. So this could get out of hand really fast, because it is possible to produce a lot of these gems, and so it would just be impossible to kill these units if they're like constantly healing and and you couldn't get, you couldn't finish them off. So kind of interesting. This is the first burst speed spell of this kind that we've seen. We'll kind of see how it works, and maybe they'll release more like this in the future or in this expansion as well. So just something to keep an eye out for. The second card here is Mountain Goat. So Mountain Goat, if you strike, you create a gem in hand. So this immediately reminds me of Rin Shadowblade and Laurent Chevalier. And as I said yesterday in my video about the support champions, the problem with these types of cards is that you are relying so much on them striking the enemy nexus that you are focusing on protecting them and building decks around these cards in order to get extreme value out of them. And that is a potential problem that I see. He's only got 1 health as well, so he's coming down on round 2. So 2 rounds before Taric, and 2 rounds before like support cards. Before a viable support card comes out in order to protect him, in order to get kind of value out of him with Shin and Taric. There was Tiaria the Traveler, which is another 2-drop, which grants 2 health, but once again we have to protect them in order to get value out of them. So that really, for me, I question the viability of this card in order to get value out of it. The 3 attack stat line is pretty cool. The 1 health though really limits what you can do and just makes it susceptible to so many spells. Vile Feast, Twisted Fate, red card, Withering Well. There's just so many things. Make It Rain, oh yeah, I just don't know if this card is going to be super viable. And then that kind of the same thing with this next card, this Mentor of Storms, a 3 cost. Super low stat line, so I'm wondering if they think this is going to be too low here. We'll see how it works out. He is producing 3 gems as a last breath ability, so we kind of do get some synergy with Shadow Isles with this card, which could be interesting. Just killing it off and getting more gems. His stat line is awful. I mean, you put him out basically 2 die. So yeah. Anyway, so support. When he supports, he grants his supported ally +2/+2. So again, permanent health. This 1/1 stat line though, just really. I mean, once again, Make It Rain, Withering Well, Vile Feast. Like, is it even possible to get value out of his support ability? And if you do, it's going to be a one-time thing. Yeah, I don't know if this card is going to be playable. I could be wrong, and like I said, he could fit into a Shadow Isles deck, but you're just not getting a lot of value out of it. And these gems, I just don't know if it's worth it. There are other ways, I think, to kind of put spells in your deck that are going to be more efficient than Mentor of the Stones. It is an epic card, and I could be wrong about this, but first impressions, yeah, I don't know. I just think it's too weak. And there could be other cards in this expansion that are released that help this card become more viable, and that is a possibility, but yeah, 1/1, that's really hard to get over. Alright, so this 4-cost slow speed spell, Shards of the Mountain, fill your hand with gems. Now, that kind of reminds me of Captain Farron's previous ability. I could be thinking about this wrong, but does it replace your cards or just like fill it up to 10 cards? I'm not sure. So that could be an interesting card. It could be an interesting discard option as well with discard decks. So that makes it seem like it's transforming your other cards with the gems, like Captain Farron's old ability. I'm not sure. We'll have to see how this actually works. I'm not sure how this card interacts. Alright, and then it looks like Taric's signature card here, Taric's Blessing of Targon. You grant an ally +3/+3. Shuffle a Taric into your deck. So this is basically a buffed Take Heart, because you don't need to be injured in order to use it. Also, if you use it on Taric as the last spell before combat, you grant it to your supported allies, so potentially granting yourself +6/+6 all around to your units. So this could be a strong card. Stats in general are kind of tricky. It is 5 mana, and so it might slow you down a little bit, especially if you're playing Taric that round for 4 mana. It's very likely that you're not going to have 5 to play it the same round you're attacking with Taric here. So we'll see. Is it better than Take Heart? I don't know. Injuring your units isn't super hard to do, and it costs 3 less and is a burst speed as well. So I don't know that it necessarily replaces that. If you don't have Freljord in your deck, or as a region in your deck, then this could be a potential substitute for it. Once again, it costs quite a bit more, so we'll see how that works out as well. Alright, so that's about it for this video. Yeah, what are your thoughts on Taric? Do you like him? I mean, thematically, like I said, I'm not super excited about him. I was more excited for other champions, but they generally ramp up the champions that they release to be more, popular at the end. So starting with Taric here is probably just kind of their safe card. Also, during the cinematic, it like showed him as the first constellation. Do any of you guys know, like, it didn't look like anything like the constellation. I have no idea how that was supposed to be Taric. Like, was it the shape of his weapon? I have no idea what they're doing. All bets are off the table, so I don't know that there's actually any way to guess what constellations will be which champions. That's just kind of a funny side note. Yeah, overall, this as kind of first impressions of these followers in Taric, they seem pretty weak to me. They seem like you have to build the deck specifically around them in order to get them to work properly, and you're just going to be spending a lot of resources to keep them alive. I could be completely wrong about this though, and they might end up being just, balanced and competitive in decks as well. So that's kind of my general thought. A little bit underpowered here, so we'll see how it works out after they release this. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Go ahead and leave your comments on what you think about Taric, and also what cards you think are going to be released this patch, this next expansion, the new champions, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks.